Namaskaram, friends. We are back again with our topic of discussion, the moon, the moon sign, the real story of the moon and the moon sign. So, as we discussed, we spoke about Carl Jung, the great Swiss psychoanalyst, what he had to say, how man would find his true support system, his true indestructible foundation, how the moon is always fearful, how the moon is always seeking safety, shelter, permanence, security, and how Saturn teaches the moon the real lessons that everything is transient, it is a world of change, and this change and transience must be accepted. The moon must not, the mind must not crave for permanence. The mind must not become saddened and depressed when things change. These are the lessons which Saturn teaches the moon, and that is why it becomes a very difficult and oppressing experience for the moon when it is associated with Saturn in the horoscope. And the moon, the mind, we humans, we cherish and seek strength and solace in this world and in all the worldly relationships, and expect and hope all these relationships to last forever. Mortality is something which is just not acceptable to us. We cannot come to terms with this concept of mortality. We cannot reconcile to this concept. But death is inevitable, and these hard truths, these facts of reality are what Saturn teaches moon, and moon finds it very difficult to accept these lessons. Now, today we will go a little deeper and we will try to understand what the moon is and what the mind is. Earlier we understood, we tried to find out how the moon, how the mind operates, what the moon, what the mind wants, likes, etc. What the moon, what the mind is taught by Saturn. Today we will get into a discussion where we will try to understand what is this mind, what is human life, how the mind, how the moon operates. Now there is one concept which we must first clearly understand. That is the concept of reality, of our existence. Now this reality has two sides to it. One is a subjective reality and one is an objective reality. Subjective reality is something which is very personal, and objective reality is something very general. Subjective reality is the way we think things are, and objective reality is the way things actually are. So my thoughts, my feelings, my moods, my attitude, my state of mind, colors, influences, and directs the reality which is in front of me. It is not the true picture. It is not things as it is. It is things as it seems to me. My mind has a filter, a lens, a sunglass of emotions, moods, attitudes, feelings, thoughts, and through those filters and through those lenses and through sunglasses, I visualize the world, and that is the subjective reality. It is not the true picture. It is not as things are. A classic example, which is very relevant, is the situation today. We are in a state of lockdown, so we are supposed to be in isolation. It is a very high emergency situation. Confinement, dissociation, seclusion, separation, solitary, exile kind of a situation. This is things as they are. But how is the human mind interpreting it? For most human beings, it is a festive time, carnival time, jubilee and jamboree. They are just, unable to comprehend the gravity of the situation. I'm sorry to use this language, but one joker from Assam called me up today and he was asking me about the fate of his love life. And another bloke is fretting and fuming because he is unable to go to Europe with a job. Now, this is subjective versus objective reality. What is the objective reality today? Objective reality is that it's a very grim situation. It's a very dangerous situation. Human life is threatened. Across the globe, thousands of people have died. Collectively, humanity is in isolation. But there are some people who cannot see this as it is. Their minds, their thoughts, their attitudes, their feelings and moods are creating a barrier. For some, it is carnival time, jamboree time. For some, it is time to reflect on the fate of their love life. And the person who's looking for a job in Europe, he's completely lost it. He should be sent to an asylum. So, this subjective life, this subjective reality, the way the world appears to us, the way a situation appears to me, the way a person appears to me, the way I look at the world, the way I look at a situation, the way I feel about a person, all this is my subjective reality. Each individual has his or her own subjective reality because each individual has his or her own mind with his or her own feelings, attitudes, moods, thoughts, opinions, etc., etc. Now, the significator of human life is moon. Because moon is the prime sustainer. Because the mind, the moon, keeps us going. It upholds us. Moon is our provider, is our nourisher. From a positive point of view, from the correct perspective. Because if my mind stops working, then my whole life comes to a standstill. So the moon, the mind, is the prime sustainer, our provider, our nourisher, and it keeps us going, it holds us together, our mind. Now, when the mind stops enjoying all experiences, see, our karma, our prarabdha, these are all experiences to be gone through in our lifetime. And who experiences? I experience. How do I experience? Through my mind. Any situation that I am in, from birth to death, all situations that I go through, every situation is an experience. And what is the meaning of this word experience? That this experience creates a certain mood, certain feeling in my mind. So when the mind stops enjoying experiences, when there are no more experiences to be encountered, then the body is out of bondage, the soul does not reincarnate anymore. The soul is free. Punarapi janamam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jathare shayanam. This story comes to an end once the mind has nothing else to experience and enjoy. So, moon is the ruler of this subjective reality, of my experiences, my feelings. And what is mind all about? Mind is all about my emotions, thoughts and feelings. So moon rules this subjective reality, and moon governs the dasha period, the nakshatra, the transits, everything is seen from the moon. So mind, human life, everything is about the mind. Any situation, one person will deal with it according to his mental capacity, his mental makeup, his mindset. And another person will deal with the same situation in a completely different way, because his mental makeup, his mindset are totally different. So it is the working of the mind which is crucial to our existence. As John Milton in his famous epic poem, The Paradise Lost, has said, the mind is its own place, it makes a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. The mind is its own place, it makes a heaven of hell and a hell of heaven. So I can make a hell of heaven and you can make a heaven of hell, depending on how my mind is functioning at that point of time. And later on, whatever I thought to be hellish but was actually heavenly, later on my mind will change and I will go back and ponder over it and it will seem to me heavenly. and then I will repent. Happens to so many of us, it has happened to all of us through our lives. Something which we loved, something which we were obsessed about 5 years, 10 years back, we detest it now, we cannot tolerate it now. Because my mind has changed. My likings have changed. My propensities, my tendencies have changed. So, moon and the mind is the most important factor, and yet it is the most limiting factor. It is the most limiting factor. Why? Because the moon, this subjective reality of the way I feel about things, this subjective reality, this moon, this mind, actually dictates my life. I am in bondage. I am not free. Whatever my mind likes, whatever my mind dislikes, accordingly I move in my life. And these likes and dislikes have been developed through eons of lifetimes. Because moon also represents, is also the significator of past lifetimes. So, whatever is my karma, what is my karma? What do we mean by the word karma? The word karma, actually we can say, is a synonym of the word moon, of the word mind. Because everything that was there in my mind, all the sanskaras, all the vasanas, after my body perishes, after my body is cremated, what remains? My sanskaras remain, my vasanas remain. And those sanskaras and vasanas are the issues to resolve which I come back again. I reincarnate, my soul reincarnates with another body. So I have a set pattern. Habit. That is why moon is also habit. So I have a set pattern which continues through lifetimes and grows. There is exponential growth. Because every time a thought emerges in my mind from my karmic basket, every time a thought emerges in my mind from my karmic basket, and that thought is put into action, or even if it is not put into action, just the level of intention, that thought multiplies million times. It's like that Rakta Bij Asura, whose one drop of blood, if it fell on the ground, hundreds and thousands and millions of Asuras, Rakta Bij, would again appear. So, all my karma is actually whatever sanskaras and vasanas I have accrued, accumulated through my millions of lifetimes. A part of that, which is called prarabdha, is experienced in every lifetime. So, this subjective reality is the moon. That is, what belongs to the thinking subject and not to the object about which thinking is going on. There is a ball. The ball is the object of thought. I am thinking about the ball. The ball is the object. I am thinking. I am the thinker. I am the subject. So, when I am thinking about the ball, my thoughts, my feelings, my moods will create another set of thoughts, feelings and moods about the ball, which is completely personal and colored by my existing set of thoughts, feelings and emotions. It has nothing to do with the ball itself, with the object itself. The ball is the objective reality in front of me, and my thoughts about the ball is the subjective reality which I am creating about the ball. So whatever I create about this world with which I transact, whatever I create with the people with whom I relate, whatever I create during the various situations and experiences which come up in my life, all these are my subjective reality, and all this is signified by the moon. Because whenever we represent any facts or we consider any facts, there is never an occasion, never. See, if this doesn't happen, then a person has become Jivan Mukta. Personal feelings, opinions, attitudes, moods and thoughts, these are always the primary inputs. These always govern the representation of facts and consideration of facts. Whenever I am considering something, or whenever after having considered something I represent it, I express it, the entire process, the initial process of consideration and the secondary process of representation and expression, both these processes are always governed by my personal feelings, my thoughts, my moods, my opinions, my attitudes. That is how we function. Somebody who does not allow his or her personal thoughts and feelings to influence his or her observation, then we say it's a very impartial, very correct, very just and balanced approach to a situation or an experience. And very few of us can do this, and very, very rarely can we do this. Because our thoughts, feelings, emotions are very strong, and we are of a very reactive nature. Now, this pattern, that whenever we meet a situation, whenever a situation arises in our life, whenever we communicate with a person, whatever is our reservoir of thoughts, whatever is our reservoir of feelings, moods, our vasanas, our sanskaras, these thoughts, feelings, vasanas, sanskaras immediately take over and create the response, feedback. And we think that we are doing it, but we are actually not doing it. It is the old pattern. This circuit of old patterns of the past is to be broken. And to break this past pattern, we have to become mindful. We have to become conscious. We have to become aware. We have to slow down. Now, so our mind, the significator of the mind, the moon, actually creates our lives. We have already created a huge reservoir of vasanas, thoughts, feelings, desires. And in this lifetime, what happens? Those vasanas, those desires, those thoughts and feelings actually govern our life, actually direct our life, actually steer our life. And having created our lives like many past lifetimes that we have created, we once again reincarnate to experience those same emotions. Now, what is a moon sign? When a person is born, out of the 12 signs in the zodiac, from Aries to Pisces, that one sign in which the moon is placed at the time of the person's birth is the moon sign. So very simply we can say that it is the emotional type of each human being. A moon sign is the emotional type to which a human being belongs. Now, actually, there are 12 emotional types because there are 12 zodiac signs. And each emotional type is very closed and very tight and bound by a boundary of 30 degrees. Each sign holds fortress. Because we all think that our thoughts, feelings, opinions are the best and correct. There is no human being on earth who will say that no, I am not correct. My thoughts, my opinions are not the best. And all the friction, all the confrontation, all the clashes arise because of this unique emotional type to which each individual belongs, and the similar emotional types, all the Aries, all the Taurus, all the Gemini, all the Cancers, all the Leos, they also have their own infighting. It is not that an Aries will accept another Aries opinion. It is not that one Taurus will embrace another Taurus's thoughts and feelings. It is not that one Gemini will give a green signal will accept another Gemini's proposal. It is not that also. Even within the same sign, there is opposition. That happens why? Because people have different ascendants and people have different planetary placements, different energy fields which are created through the 12 signs of the zodiac. So, this business of the moon sign, which is a typical emotional type, what does this essentially create? It essentially creates a sense of liking and disliking. I like this, I don't like that. I don't like this, I like this. And the Siddhas and the masters have been saying this from ages, that the only thing you need to do is to get over this I like this and I don't like this. The moment you can cross this bridge of liking and disliking, then you are free. Then there is no bondage. And you do not create karma. The mind is all about liking and disliking. And the 12 moon signs are all about I like this, I feel this way, I think this way, this is my attitude, this is my opinion, and this is the best, this is the correct, and all other signs must follow it. And that is where the battle begins. Now, why I am into this discussion is primarily because when we take a spiritual outlook, when we take a corrective measure of how to address this friction, we have 12 zodiac signs, we have 12 emotional types. 12 emotional types are fighting amongst each other. The similar emotional types are also fighting amongst each other. There is nobody who is not fighting with anybody else. Everybody is fighting with everybody. Everybody is in conflict with everybody. So, at the level of the moon sign, at the level of the zodiac, at the astrological, at the planetary level, we cannot solve this. We have to raise ourselves. We have to go to one level higher to make necessary corrections. See, the mental makeup, the state of mind with which a problem was created by me. When I created a problem, I had a particular state of mind. Now, if I have to solve that problem, then that state of mind in which I created the problem, that state of mind cannot solve the problem for me. Because that is a problem creating state of mind. So I need a solution finding state of mind which has to be obviously different from the problem creating state of mind. So So the problems are created within the zodiac, within my personal birth chart, at the astrological planetary level. That is the problem creating level. Now the solution finding level is one step higher, and that is the spiritual outlook which we have to take. And in this case, the spiritual outlook is actually a holistic outlook, which is always the case when we mention the word spiritual. So the whole idea is that I must go beyond my moon sign and cultivate and inculcate and imbibe the qualities of all other signs. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the astrology which I practice, the astrology which I preach, and the astrology which I think can redeem the human species. That I must go beyond my moon sign and cultivate, inculcate, imbibe the qualities of all the other moon signs. Because very simply, very logically, if we look at the scenario, then the 12 signs of the zodiac, each and every sign has some relation to some aspect of my life. I may be a Gemini moon sign, I may be a Capricorn moon sign, I may be a Virgo moon sign, but the remaining 11 signs, one will be the sign of my house, my home, one will be the sign of my business, marriage, one will be the sign of my profession, one will be the sign of my education, one will be the sign of my earnings, one will be the sign of my travels. So unless and until I can cultivate and nurture the properties of all, the qualities of all the moon signs, I will not be able to derive, to extract the maximum results of the other signs. Because my mind is stuck to my Gemini, or my mind is stuck to my Virgo, or my mind is stuck to my Aquarius, or my mind is stuck to my Capricorn, because that's my moon sign. Now, if my moon sign is Aries, and my 10th house happens to fall in Scorpio. Now, Aries is a fire sign, Scorpio is a water sign. So, my mind has the fire sign quality, has the fire sign ways of operating, and my 10th house of profession, of status, is a water sign where my mind must know, mind must possess the qualities of the water signs. It's not that because my mind is a Aries mind, because my moon is in Aries, in my 10th house of Scorpio, say I am a Capricorn ascendant and an Aries moon sign. So Aries is where my moon is, my mind is. Sorry, I am a Aquarius ascendant. I'm Aquarius ascendant with an Aries moon sign. So my 10th house is Scorpio. So when I'm in the 10th house, when I'm working, I don't use my mind. I have to use my mind everywhere. In my 4th house, in my 5th house, in my 6th house, in my 7th house. I have to use my mind everywhere. So if my mind is a very strong Aries mind, it has all the fire quality. Now, I'm just taking up one property. Aries is also a cardinal sign. Aries is also a Raja Guna. I'll take just the fire quality. Now, Aries is my moon sign. I function well there. As an Aquarius ascendant, my 7th house, I will function well there. That is also fire sign. And my 11th house, Sagittarius, I will also function well there. Because my mind is attuned to the fire sign qualities. And the moment I go to the water signs, 2nd house of finance, Pisces, I'll drown there. Scorpio, 10th house, I'll sink. And 6th house of skills, of healing, etc. There, God knows what will happen to me. So my approach to astrology is this, that while I am born with the moon in a particular moon sign, so that moon sign, that 30 degrees in the horoscope is something which is God gifted to me. That comes to me naturally. Now that may not also come naturally to me. If I have very difficult aspects, if I have very tight, hard aspects. Now if I have an Aries moon and a Saturn sitting there, or an exalted Saturn in Libra, that Aries will not function, that moon will not function well. But without those further complications, if I just take it very simply, then the moon sign in which I am born, that particular sign has I am at an advantage. I sync well with the qualities of that sign. I sync well with fire. I sync well with Rajagun. I sync well with the cardinal theme. But the other 11 houses are also houses where I have to operate. So unless their qualities have been developed within me, I will not be able to function well. So this is the whole idea of looking at the moon sign from a totally new perspective, from a perspective which creates a potential for growth and development and well-being. Now, how the moon sign predictions the Rashifal, the weekly Rashifal and the monthly Rashifal damages us, we'll get to that area later on. But first, let us look at how we must go beyond our moon sign, go beyond our 30 degrees of Aries or Gemini or Taurus or Capricorn, wherever we are pitched, and widen our perspective, broaden our bandwidth. Like, we have the all-rounder concept. Fielder, bowler, batsman. Now here we have no option. Here all the houses we have to function in. So we'll move further into the discussion in our next episode, friends. I hope you enjoyed today's talk, and I hope I was able to create some kind of well-being in you in these difficult times. Anybody who wants to take a personal reading, 8981312007, 8981312007 and 98300104227, 98300104227. These are my WhatsApp numbers. You can text me to find out how to go about a personal reading. So, till we meet again with the next episode, Namaskaram and thank you.